Escarcega, along with the greatest Rams fan there is on this side of the valley.
Hey,
Freddie Robledo. I saw those pictures.
I almost died through that game on Sunday. It was so hot.
How did you get home, by the way?
1 o'clock.
I understand you took the train.
Yeah, the trains, there were problems getting out of there. But, finally got home about 6:30, 7 o'clock. Wasn't too bad.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a long day, but it's a good time. Aram couldn't handle it, but people who are fan of sports who like to go can. So
I'll take a Rams game at home any day of the week and twice on Sunday. There's fun times. Do you like the Coliseum, by the way? The new stadium with the seats and everything?
Yeah, I mean the seats they're kind of tight though, James. You're kind of jam packed. Luckily, we were in a row where there's no one in front of us and we could step off.
Oh, sweet!
One of those walking areas.
Great.
But yeah, they're pretty tight. They're nice seats, but it's a tight fit.
Awesome. So Rams are already 2-0 for the season, and the Saints have some problems already. I was told this morning. But we're not here to talk pro football. We're here to talk high school football. This is week 4 of the high school football season. For many teams, Freddie, this is the last week of preseason action before they take their bye.
Yeah, and I was going over our top 20 that I put up today.
Yeah.
Half of those teams in the top 20 are still undefeated right now. So this is a good sign for a lot of these teams going into league. Some surprising undefeated teams when you look at it down the line. You got South Pass and Alhambra. They're undefeated. They're going to play this week.
Yep.
You got Sierra Vista's undefeated. I mean, there's a lot of them. Glendora, Northview. I mean, we can go down the line. Just a lot of teams playing good football early in the season. El Monte too. That's another big one.
They had a huge win against Orange Vista on Friday at home. I think that Division 12, Freddie, with them and Pasadena,
another undefeated team.
I
didn't put past Poly in the rankings this week. You could probably start to make an argument they should, though. Huh?
They're a pretty good football team, Freddie.
Yeah.
I just like the way they play. If you hadn't had a chance to read the Saturday Morning Quarterback, please do so. I really enjoyed my time out there at Pasadena Poly on Friday. Chris Schmokey, who's the head coach over there, you've met him before. He's done the Pasadena Quarterbacks Club on occasion. He's a great dude, and he's got those guys playing well right now. That is for sure. Before we talk about Friday's action, and there is major action on Friday, we really should, Freddie, just kind of rewind to where you were at on Friday with Baldwin Park and Sierra Vista. Great neighborhood rivalry and a game that sometimes, when you look beforehand, you think, oh, man, we just hope it lives up to the expectation.
Oh, my gosh.
It just
live up to it and more. And it was from the very beginning. We all know about Sierra Vista and all of the talking and all the fun they've had. And I think people can't wait for that fall, the people that are rooting against them, because you have some on this side and some on this side, for lack of, you and me.
Yeah.
But here, they... all the gamesmanship. Sierra Vista warms up at their own field, shows up 15 minutes before the game, comes walking in, puffing their chest. And not just walking in, they're wearing their red uniforms. That's a no-no. You're supposed to wear whites on the road. They took a 15-yard penalty to start the game because of that.
Wow.
And they fall behind 27-6. They come back 4 touchdowns in the second half to win 34-27.
That is awesome.
You see them ring that bell. I mean, it was great. The atmosphere afterwards, I thought both schools handled it well. Now, Baldwin Park, that's a tough way to lose. And you're watching a team celebrate in your field. And, they're going to get a little wild. And I thought both teams handled it right. There was nothing afterwards. The teams didn't really get into it.
That's fantastic.
I thought both teams, I thought Sierra Vista did as best they could to not over-celebrate, but they celebrated and had a good time. Now, I'm going to say this about Sierra Vista. They're undefeated, James. They're 3-0. They've had to come back twice from a 2-touchdown deficit in the first week against Gabrielino. 3 touchdowns here. Even the game that I was at when they played Ganesha, they had to come back and win that game. They're falling behind. And the thing about this team that they've got to get straight is, what do coaches say? Keep it simple, stupid.
That's exactly right.
I think they want to, they have coaches in offense. They want to throw the ball. And they want to do some dynamic things. But they're not built for that yet.
Okay.
And they get themselves in trouble. And there's a couple times, they're down 2 touchdowns early in the second half.
Yeah.
And they're facing like a 3rd and 11 from their own 30. And they're trying to throw themselves out of that. And they got away with it against Baldwin Park. And they've been getting away with it. But they have a guy, Corona, who runs the football in a running game that works. They've got to start learning how to be smart and do what they do well. And look to hit their spots when they want to throw the ball. Because I think right now they take too many chances. They want to be too dynamic when that's not what their MO is. So I think they've got to clean those up. If they do, like I said, I do now like their chances. They got Bassett next, who's 0-4. They have a chance to win the rest of their games and go from a team that went 0-10 to 10-0. I think it's going to come down to the last week in the Montview League for them when they play Duarte. I bet you both of those teams are going to run the table in their league.
Okay.
So kudos to Sierra Vista for everything they've done to this point. But again, they've still got some work. The coaching staff has to make better decisions. You know, they've got them fired up. They've got to believe in. But now it's up to them in managing games right.
I think the key word is identity. You want to know what your identity is. And as a football coach, are we a run first pass team?
I don't think
or
they
a
went
pass
there.
first
I don't think
team?
they went there saying we want to be a 3 yards and a cloud of dust football team.
No.
But dang it, that's what they are right now. And that's what works for them. When you see them playing well, that's what it does. And then you look for that spot to throw the ball every now and then. But they've got to be careful.
And Freddie, I think you're onto something here. You know, if I had a chance to watch the Patriots championship video they did with do their job video that the NFL Network did, and what Bill Belichick did late in the years, he told his offensive staff, "Let's just focus on what we do well."
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And we'll let the chips fall as they may. And I think it sounds like what they need to do at Sierra Vista.
Yeah,
just simplify it.
They have the
figure out
recipe there.
Yeah.
But, you know, you're not going to be able to win playoff games when you're down 2 touchdowns going for it on 3rd and 11 on your own 30.
Yeah.
You're just not. And they've done that. They did it a couple times. They also not a team that kicks extra points. Everything's a 2-point conversion. I made a joke on Twitter. You got a state championship soccer team. You can't find a guy who takes extra points. That's kind of ridiculous. But maybe they'll have that all figured out soon. Who knows? We're
going to spend 30 seconds here on the Sponge Puck game, which I was at, Freddie, which saw Bonita defeat San Dimas again for the second straight year in a row. Freddie, Sean Jastrop is just making more fans wherever he goes. He says, I don't think he can walk through Laverne these days without people just pulling him over. He's doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, he really is. And, these are the games they're going to prepare. They have bigger games ahead.
2 weeks is the big one.
Yeah, 2 weeks they play Glendora.
Wow.
And that's when, that's when the baptism starts for young Sean Jastrop.
Yeah.
I mean, I know his dad was nervous. That season opener, he'll be nervous in a couple of weeks when they take on Glendora. That's good. But kudos to him. He's had the training. I think, like you'd mentioned in our notebook today. He's gone with Chris Ricks. He's had Cameron Dean, the former South Hills coach at Mount Sac.
One of my favorite players.
Good guys mentoring him right now, and you've seen it. You've seen it all pay off early in the season.
It was a big win. They had a big second quarter, Freddie. I just want to address an issue. I posted a video before the game of the stands at Citrus College. And it just kind of went out there. I kind of said that the game really,
you folks,
that I really do believe this game really needs to be played at Covina District Field. I didn't put this out there, but it should have a feel of like a Cotton Bowl when Oklahoma and Texas play. 50-50 down the line. Whoever runs it keeps the concessions and everything. I just think Citrus College is just too big for.
Well, the problem with it this time around at Citrus, James, is it was on a Saturday night. And a lot of Saturday night, there's college football going on. Yeah. It's just once you get out of that Friday night, a lot of people have Saturday plans, so you don't get the crowd. But I do hear what you come in, and I saw Rita here, who we all love over at San Dimas. She reacted to your little post, talking about, for these communities, they like it there and everything. I get all that, but I'll tell you what, for me, I kind of agree with you. When I started covering the Smudge Pot games, they were still at Bonita and they were at San Dimas.
Yep.
It wasn't until San Dimas started when they were changing their stadium. Mm-hmm. They decided to go to Citrus, and they've had it, there a few years since. Mm-hmm. They played it at the district field last year, which really worked because they sold that out. The atmosphere was great. Yep. But for me, I liked when they bring in the extra bleachers and they play those games at their home schools. Play them at Bonita. Play them at San Dimas. I was at the rivalry game Friday night and saw Sierra Vista Baldwin Park.
They can do it.
And when you pack it in like that, and you have people standing behind the end zones, and everyone's on top of the action, that atmosphere, you feel that run through you. Yeah. You feel energy like that. And that's what you lose going to Citrus College, where it's so big.
Yeah.
And I think there are years when maybe they can handle that game on a Friday night. But I agree with you. I wish they would go back to playing those rivalry games at their schools, because I just love that kind of energy when you have it like that.
I agree. But it was a great night nonetheless. Bonita wins. They're 4-0. They have a bye this week before they have their final tune-up before Palomares League action starts. So it'll be kind of an interesting way that they get to the season. All right, let's get to Friday night, Freddie. We got a lot of action on start. It really starts on Thursday night over at Citrus College, of all places again, where West Covina will take on Glendora. On paper, Freddie, this is a mismatch, and I just don't.
This used to be one of the great. Back when Mike Majori was coaching in West Covina.
And you know he's coaching these days. You know that.
Huh?
He's coaching these days over at West Covina. He's doing the freshman team.
Yeah. But look, West Covina is really, they're one of those teams. This is what we talk about with cycles. You know, they're going through their cycle right now, James, where they're taking it on the chin. They are a long way away from that team that we remember that had won back-to-back championships. God, I remember that game against Lucerne in the championship where they almost put up 80 points in that game. Or was it 80 points?
It was close to it there. Yeah, pretty close.
This is a tune-up game for Glendora on Thursday. Glendora has that Palomares League opener the following week against Bonita, where we expect them both to be 5-0, and that will be the absolute game of the week at Bonita. I can't wait to hit their press box for the first time to see that one.
Yeah.
But hey, look, Glendora's gotta, they gotta, I guess, be careful in that you want to get off to a good start, make sure no one gets injured. But this game should be over by halftime, James.
Should be, pretty much so. And wow, what a start for the Tardens. Great job by Brandon Rohr. Great, they had, along the way, Freddie, when you have a championship season, you're going to have those games in which you're going to have to gut it out. And that's exactly what happened.
I was surprised, to be honest. I thought they would be able to handle Los Altos a little easier. I don't know if that's Los Altos just being that good, or if that was Glendora showing a little chink in their armor.
I think it's a little bit of both, but I also believe that Glendora's going to get the major. Well, they're going to get their best. The teams they're going to face. They're going to get their best shot.
Yeah.
And they're going to do things like what Travis Brown did in the third quarter with a fake punt that went for a touchdown. Those things are going to happen.
Yeah.
Boy, that Hossy in the League is going to be interesting. We're going to talk about Los Altos here just a moment here, but that Hossy in the League championship race is going to be awfully interesting. So that's Thursday. Friday, we're gonna kind of again work our way from the Whittier area and move up north. We're going to start, though, in Alhambra, Freddie. We're going to go down Main Street. You have to go down Atlantic, take a right on Main Street. There's some places you can go out before the game, and then you'll head over to one of the great venues in all of the West San Gabriel Valley, which is Moorfield.
A lot of history over there.
If you ask our big boy Aram, he loves Moorfield.
And this is a great game.
South Pasadena versus Alhambra.
This is kind of one of those unexpected games when, Jane, when we do the week by week at the beginning of the season, we're looking for best games each Friday night. This is never one that I think you would have saw on your radar when the season started.
No.
But here you have it. Alhambra 4-0, undefeated, number 1 in Division 12. Taking on South Pasadena, also undefeated, 3-0. This is their final game before they go into the Rio Hondo League.
Yeah.
So you got a someone's must-go game, James.
Correct.
You're going to be there on Friday night.
Can't wait.
I am buying what Alhambra's done so far. Okay. I think they have a real shot of winning the Almont League. They had this kind of start last year and fumbled once they got into league. They did. I think for South Pasadena, they're 3-0, but they haven't played anybody.
That's true.
Absolutely anybody. So this is a big test for them. I want to know if they're going to be able to go in the Rio Hondo League and be, La Cañada's been doing well. Obviously, Monrovia, I think, is the team to beat.
Yep.
I think San Marino, once they get into the league, is going to be one of those teams you got to deal with. So we'll find out where South Pasadena is come Friday night. And you're going to be there.
I will be. I'm looking forward to it.
Game.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Moors here. It sounds like you're taking the Moors as well.
I got the
It's going to be interesting because that second automatic qualifier spot for the Rio Hondo League is going to be really, really competitive because I think Monrovia is the heavy favorite to win league. There's no doubt.
I don't call them heavy, but I think they're the favorite.
Yeah, you have to make them the favorite, but that second spot is going to be real interesting. There's a lot of parity within those three teams to figure out who's going to be the second automatic qualifier from the league.
Yeah.
Then we got to go up, Freddie. We got to go up Atlantic Boulevard. We got to kind of make some side streets over to Pasadena.
Oof.
And Freddie, I was thinking about
the game of the week, and this is another game. There's 2 game of the weeks in Pasadena. This is the other one, and Donald Morrison is going to be covering that game Friday night. And you got another someone's must go game, James. 4-0 Crescenta Valley at 3-0 Pasadena.
Wow.
No, Pasadena has been putting the whipping on everybody.
Yep.
And they haven't even been close. 77-0, I think, their last game.
I think they've only given up 2 touchdowns in 12 quarters of football.
But this is the absolute truth game for Pasadena. You know, Crescenta Valley's been one of those juggernauts in the Pacific League the last few years. Is Pasadena one? Are they a team that can really contend for the Pacific League title? Have they come that far? And two, if they're not, are they going to make it into the playoffs? Because this is a super tough league when you're talking about automatic playoff spots, because you've got Crescenta Valley, you've got Muir, you've got the Burbank and Burroughs schools. And there's, also maybe Arcadia's creeping into the picture after you saw what they did to Whittier last week.
We'll find out Thursday night.
Yeah, I mean, Arcadia goes ahead and they get, that Whittier team beat San Dimas. So if you want to add them up, Arcadia, we all talked about their 2 butt whippings they took the first 2 weeks, but those were super opponents they played, James.
Yeah.
Maybe now that they're in the Pacific, they're right about where they should be with these teams. We're going to find all out. The Pacific League is going to be as wild as any league that we cover.
Is it a stretch? I was just thinking about this coming in this morning. Is it a stretch of the imagination to think this is probably the biggest game for Pasadena high school football in about 20 years? And if they win Friday night, you have to think that they are now on the inside track to winning the Pacific League championship.
Well, it would really legitimize their chances. If you want to call it the inside track, yeah, this would be the game, because you would put Crescenta Valley in your back pocket. That wins there, and then you go after the rest of the schedule. Yeah, it would. It would. I think the winner of this has the inside track, because these are the first 2 big teams going at it.
I agree. So that'll be Friday night. Who are you taking?
Oh, my gosh.
I never thought I'd look at this reaction, folks. I never thought you'd get a reaction like this from a Pasadena high school football team.
You know what? I'm buying Pasadena.
So am I.
I'm buying. I think they're going to win this game.
I think it's going to be a really. They have to roll the dice here.
We're watching something in Pasadena that we've been waiting and wondering for a long time. I've always thought that Pasadena and Muir, based on talent alone, should be the top 2 teams in the Pacific League almost every year. I just think they should be. And this might be the year where maybe that all comes to fruition. We'll see. This is going to be an interesting next.
This is called rolling the dice
weeks.
And looking for those
Great game.
Yeah, this is going to be some game on Friday night. We mentioned Donald Morris.
Just know Muir is off Friday night. They'll start the Pacific League the following week.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, on we go. And we're going to go up north now. We're going to hit the 60 freeway and get off right near Hacienda Boulevard, I believe. But this is where we get Northview at Los Altos.
Yeah.
This is the Tribune game of the week.
Yeah, well, Los Altos going to Glendora and only losing 21-13. That was impressive to me.
Yeah.
Because we all know where we think Glendora is the number 1 team in Division 5.
Yeah. And
this is a great game set up, because I was at Northview's game the previous week against Don Lugo. Total blowout, 41-6. This is the same team that South Hills only beat by a point. We're talking Don Lugo. You saw Northview's first game of the year, am I right?
I did.
And they struggled. They gave up some points. They seemed to, whatever those kinks were, have ironed them out. Those next 3 weeks, I think they haven't given up more than a touchdown in either of those 3 games. They've all been blowouts.
Yeah.
This is a major test for both teams in terms of what do you think they're going to do down the line. If Northview goes in there and beats Los Santos and beats them pretty handily, beats them better than Glendora does, you've got some real thinking to do in terms of rankings.
Yeah.
And for Los Altos, you just mentioned the Hacienda League. That is going to be something else when you think of diamond ranches in there. That's going to be tough. You've got Los Altos. South Hills is always right
Charter
there.
Oak.
Charter Oak is down. I think they're out of it now that their quarterback and Brandon Guzman, their all-purpose threat, they're out for almost the rest of the year.
Ooh.
Heard today that they both have broken tibulas.
Not a good
and
sign.
That's probably going to take them out of everything.
Not a good sign.
That maybe lowers the Hacienda a little bit. It's really maybe now just a 3-team race. But can Los Altos? I think it's going to come down to James Los Altos and Diamond Ranch. I really do.
Okay.
But I want to see Los Altos up close and personal in a game like this against. I think these teams played 2 years ago.
I did.
And Los Altos beat them.
Yeah, that's correct.
Right? So they didn't play last year, did they?
No, they didn't.
They didn't play last year. So this will be interesting to see.
Oh, no. They did play last year, because you know what?
So
I was there.
Northview won that game then.
Yeah, they won it. It was on Saturday night. What am I talking about? I was there last year.
Then they split.
Yeah, I was there. Oh,
I'm going to be excited. This is going to be a fun game to watch.
Who are you picking?
I'm taking Northview.
I'm going to take Los Altos here. I like how they really competed hard. The biggest question, Freddie, is they're going by this quarterback by committee again. They got Hashigawa and Justin Gayton at quarterback. They've been doing this quarterback by committee. At some point, we got to figure out. I think Travis Brown is going to have to sit down during that bye week and figure out who is going to be the leader of this team. That's going to be the biggest telltale sign as they go into league. So
here, interesting note on Northview because I was at their game last week.
You tweeted something out this morning. Go.
They
please.
have I forget his name already because
go ahead.
It's on my Twitter. Real quick.
Go ahead and take a look at it. And as he's looking at that, we want to remind everybody that those are the games that we're talking about here are the print games. So you'll be able to find those on our Twitter on our print editions of the Saturday paper here. You're still looking, aren't you? It should be your last one. There you go.
Okay. So Jahaz Prudhomme.
Yep.
This is a player that was at Diamond Ranch last season.
Yep.
I was at the Northview game on Thursday night. He has transferred to Northview.
Okay.
And from the way I understand it, he didn't really tell anyone. Their family moved. They moved into the school district. They enrolled. The coaches were kind of surprised that this guy this is Northview telling a story. The coaches were kind of surprised that he showed up on their campus. He was on their sidelines. They are going to file the paperwork this week, make a transfer request. And, it's one of those things because people were already asking on Twitter, would he be eligible right away? Yes. If he moved into the district, James, and they file it and Diamond Ranch says that they didn't think there's any funny business, this kid would be eligible right away. He's a big back. He carried the ball in a limited role for Diamond Ranch last year, but you've got to remember, Diamond Ranch, they have a lot of athletes over there, and if this kid, what Northview doesn't really have is a dynamic running back.
Correct.
Their quarterback Jimenez is their leading rusher.
Correct.
If they had someone that can kind of take that load away from him a little bit, wow, that could be a little game changer for them. So we'll see what that means. We'll see. I don't think he'll be eligible this Friday, this quick. You never know. But we'll see. There's a transfer.
Okay, and that means we'll be checking the portal.
Yes,
which is what every high school reporter does at some time or another during the year. They go to the CIF website and see what's up in the transfer portal, so to speak. So those are the games on print. Let's take a look at some of the games you're going to see online only, and we're going to start with Sierra Canyon at St. Paul. St. Paul doing this again, Freddie. They're taking on a top 10 ranked team in the state in Sierra Canyon, who defeated Valencia on Saturday night. It's another tough assignment here for the Swordsmen.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say that we think of La Habra, Bishop Amat, and St. Paul. I don't know who's played the tougher non-league schedule between the three of them.
I think La Habra has.
Well, when you throw in Mission Viejo and Calabat, you would have it. But I think St. Paul is number two.
Not far behind.
With Narbonne and Sierra Canyon this week. I mean, those are two heavyweight juggernauts. I expect it to be more of the same. I expect it to be like the Narbonne game.
Yep.
St. Paul is good, really good, but they're not there yet.
Yeah.
They're not
an upper echelon.
They're not a Division II, Division I caliber team yet. So kudos to them for scheduling a game like this, and we'll have John Sherrard there covering it. We'll see if they can make it a game, but I just don't think so. Sierra Canyon is one of those private school teams, just like Grace Brethren, that is taking it to another level.
I agree.
And I'm not, St. Paul's not there yet.
And this game could end at 10:30. The way that the Sierra Canyon offense runs, they just score. It seems like at every minute. So this can get. I hope this doesn't get out of hand, so to speak. So as Freddie mentioned, John Sherrard will be at the game, and then my man Isaac Coladeras is going to do something I haven't done for the last couple of years, and that's cover a Bishop Amat game. He's heading over to Cathedral on Friday night for Bishop Amat Cathedral. And
Isaac's a rook, so I thought I'd baptize him at the toughest high school venue to get a parking spot or get into the stadium at Cathedral. So if he could figure out how to get in there and get his job done, then he's graduated through the non-league portion of our schedule.
One thing about Bishop Amat we should mention right away, the return of Damian Moore. And
he had a big
was
game
that
last
huge.
week. Yeah, it was a big game last week for him to come back. I still think they struggled a little bit more than they had to against Chino Hills. I want to see them in one game where they just put someone away and step on the gas, especially these teams they should be beating, like Chino Hills. But they won. and they're 3-1, James. And I think they have a really good chance to go to 4-1 before they go into the Mission League next week.
They'll get that week off.
Like I said, Bishop Amont's one of those teams. I think they're going to have they should win this game on Friday. It's a tough game. They're 3-1, but
I think they win by 30.
They haven't played a tough schedule. I think when they get in the Mission League, it's one of those situations where there's about 3 games where they can get beat and they can win. And it's one of those where we're just going to have to wait and watch how it all unfolds. But
Bishop Vermont by 30. So we'll
by 30, I like
on.
them to win this week, yeah.
Yeah, we'll just move on after that one. We'll just leave that one alone. Another interesting area game, Freddie. We have La Habra going up against Diamond Ranch. Our friends, I think, at the Daily Bulletin are going to probably cover this game for us. I think for Diamond Ranch, they couldn't have picked going up against La Habra at a worse time. I think they'll be a little bit pissed off.
Last year they played this game and La Habra ran them off the field pretty well.
And now they're catching
I think
La Habra
Diamond Ranch, if you look at how they hung with
Bishop
Amont. They had that loss to Ayala, but Ayala's really good this year. It looks like they're going to be one of those Palomares League teams that are going to be in that fight. I think it'll be a better game.
Okay.
I am buying Diamond Ranch as a pretty good team. They're not at La Habra's level.
Right.
La Habra's got to be careful too going there because they've lost 2 straight. And I know they're hungry, but this is one of those games that Diamond Ranch has kind of circled in their schedule after that Bishop Amat game. So it's a really good game. I like La Habra to win that game maybe by 2 touchdowns.
I agree with you.
I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means.
No, but I think you'll find a La Habra team that's pretty pissed off right now. I think they let one get away against Calabasas on Friday night, and this is probably this is their last game, Freddie. They can make a major statement to the playoff committee for seeding, because there will be the overwhelming favorite to win the Freeway League. There's just no. So this is kind of like their last spot on the resume to say, we're a pretty good football team. I think they were going to be ranked either 3rd or 4th in the latest poll that's going to come out. We're filming this on Monday before the polls come out. I have a feeling they're going to be in that top 5 before everything's all said and done.
And I'll tell you a game that we won't have anyone there, but we're going to follow up on. This will probably be a Saturday morning quarterback item for you.
I know what you're saying.
Almani has a pretty good. Almani's undefeated. That win, and we didn't talk about this. That win over Orange Vista last week, they
absolutely
humbled them.
Huge.
Orange Vista was a divisional finalist last year, and
absolutely
they went toe-to-toe with them.
Huge.
They ran them off their field. And this week they're playing Eagle Rock. They're 2-2, but that's a Division I city section team who beat Almani last year. Yeah. I think it's another good test. Almani's non-league schedule because they've scheduled Orange Vista. San Marino, who struggled a little bit. And now this game, these are pretty good tests going into the Mission Valley League, and I do like Almani to get them this time. I think it's going to be a good game. I know Eagle Rock might be a different animal altogether. I don't know, James. It's one of those. It'll be an interesting game. I definitely think it's a Saturday morning quarterback game for you.
There's a lot of Saturday morning quarterback games, Freddie. That's
but
one.
I'm going to go with Almani. I like them. I like them a lot.
Perfect. Another game I'm looking at here is South Hills is playing La Mirada on Friday night. Freddie, South Hills got some issues
I thought this was going to be juicier 2 or 3 weeks ago. South Hills, they've lost Elliott, their running back.
Yeah.
To lose to, they lost to Monrovia.
Right.
They struggled against Don Lugo. They got blown out when they went to Orange County. I'm not buying them anymore the rest of the way. I think sometimes the way they've lost and the players that they've lost, and you're coming off a championship year, I think there's probably the feeling and the mood over there isn't good right now, and I don't know if they can turn that around. I think La Mirada is obviously a team on the roll. I like La Mirada to win this game, and you're going to see South Hills go to 2-3 going into the Hacienda League.
Not
where good. I think Los Altos is better than them. I think Diamond Ranch is better than them.
Yeah. This
can really be a 4-6 or 5-5 year when it's all said and done for South Hills, coming off a year where they went 14-1 and really 14-0 going to the CIF finals.
One more game we want to talk about here, folks. And Freddie, I think you might have missed this one. I don't know how, but it's easy to miss. And I can't recall a game this intriguing as Arroyo taking on Rio Hondo Prep at Care Field on Friday night. And I mentioned this game, Freddie, because the Prep League, it gets knocked around a little bit. But I'm going to tell you right now, South Almani found out the hard way last week when they played Pasadena Poly. These teams can play. They're coached up.
And you've seen over the years where Rio Hondo Prep has beaten Arcadia.
Yep.
Rio Hondo Prep and Pasadena Pounding. Now, look, they're not going to turn into Grace Brethren
No, they're
or
not.
Sierra Canyon.
No, they are not. And nor do they want to be.
Costs a lot of money to go to those schools, and they don't have that many athletic scholarships to pay for that kind of money. But not in Rio Hondo Prep necessarily, more Pasadena Poly. But, these are always good football teams.
Yes.
And this is an interesting... What's Rio Hondo Prep's record right now?
I'm going to take a look here real fast.
Because they've done pretty well already.
They are 3-0.
Yeah. I was going to say, they're undefeated. This is an interesting game for Jim Seinheiser. And they're playing at that new Care Youth facility. If you haven't seen it, it's on Arrow Highway as you approach the 210 of the 605 freeway.
Yeah.
You ever seen the Care Youth Park?
I have not.
It's an interesting little place that they built. It's not at their school anymore. You're not on that field that has that little hill. They're playing on a legitimate football field.
Uh-huh.
And it's nice. I've never covered a game there. I've just seen it because I drive by it every day when I come into work.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's an interesting game. It's almost
really
one
is.
where I wish we had to send someone out there. Maybe I could figure something out.
I mean, we'll definitely follow.
They
One thing about both the Pasadena Poly and Rio Hondo Prep, they know how to get the information out to us. They do a great job on their Twitter account.
I'm taking Rio Hondo Prep.
I am too, Freddie.
I'm taking Rio Hondo Prep
in the upset
over Jim Singheiser's
Yes, and I'm just
Arroyo.
You are on upset alert
Rio
here.
Hondo Prep this week.
Wow, it's a fascinating football game, and I'm going to be watching that game real closely on Friday night to see how it turns out. I just like Pasadena Poly too, Freddie. It's an intimate location that they play their games in. Now in the playoffs, I think they go to South Pasadena High School to play the games. But if you ever have a chance, folks, to watch a prep league game, either with Pasadena Poly or Rio Hondo Prep,
there are your two Saturday morning quarterback leagues.
3.
That game. Yeah, the El Monte game.
And the La Mirada game.
The La Mirada. We don't have enough bodies to go to all of these games, so that's when we put the Saturday morning quarterback together to look at games we didn't get, and James will touch on those.
So we'll take care of that this
Saturday
week.
morning. Yeah.
Can we get Chip to score 2 more touchdowns for your Bruins, by the way?
I'm taking the rest of the season off for the UCLA Bruins. It's basketball season.
Oh, it's basketball
Lakers
season.
are in 3 weeks, and the Rams are 2-0. That's what matters right now, James.
Okay.
That's what matters.
Just checking to make
How's
sure.
that USC football team doing, by the way?
Check back with me at the end of Friday night.
That's what I thought.
Check back with me on Friday night. I love my Trojans, though. My Trojans.
USC. This is
I love my Trojans.
Supposed to be Southern California. This is USC. You're supposed to dominate. You're supposed to be like Alabama and all of the great teams in the country, and you can't beat BYU.
Come on. I love my Trojans. Come on now. Come on, Freddie.
Yeah.
Friday night, we've got it all going. Make sure you're following Freddie on Twitter. He'll set up the lineup for you for the evening, and he'll have the one-stop shop, which I believe, Freddie, on our website has been one of the top page views.
I throw all of the game stories, all of the scores, so it makes it easy, I think, for you to navigate and find your game scores on Friday nights.
And then Saturday, we'll have the Saturday morning quarterback, and then next week, Freddie, we'll have maybe a trimmed-down edition of the 2-minute drill, just because for a lot of teams they'll be taking their bye week, getting into league play. But we'll be back here. But
Bonita Glendora.
Yeah, for sure. That's going to be.
I can tell you right now, I'll be at that game next Friday night.
Don't even
look at any other game.
Don't even go put on the budget.
Bonita Glendora. Okay. I'm seeing a lot of Glendora. They're the number 1 ranked team. I'm gonna see them this Friday, and I'm gonna see them next Friday.
No, you're going to see Los Altos.
Los Altos. Yeah, Los Altos. Okay.
Yeah, unless you want to go to.
I'm gonna probably go Thursday. John Hunnell's gonna cover it.
The venerable John Hunnell.
That's a great place to go get a pizza and a soda and sit down and watch and enjoy a game.
That band, by the way, is one of the great bands in the Valley. It's a great experience, And kudos, by the way, to our man Justin O'Hara. Did you see what they did to him a couple weeks ago? They gave him a jacket, big ceremony for him and everything. It could not be more deserved. The guy has outlived the odds and everything else. And Justin, we're so happy for you. Just continue doing your thing and cheering on the Tardens, that's for sure. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you all next week. See you all on Friday night.
In Sierra Vista, we need a helmet here now. Now that you're back in the neighborhood.
Lucerna, they've been wanting one. Cal High, Sure High School.
We need to start playing around with these helmets. So if you want to get your helmet up here when we talk,
we'll take it.
Send them our way.
We'll take it. We'll see you guys. Thank you.